There are more than 100,000 stroke victims in your country every year. Kidney disease, 10,000 total, 500 new cases. That's a beautiful slide of carcinoma of the rectum, just to give you the carcinomas. Smokers, look, especially for you, carcinoma of the lung. As we say in Afrikaans, lekker, that's nice. That's what you get from smoking. There are more than 240,000 people in the United States diagnosed with cancer every year. And that's the Groote Schuur Hospital. Because we responded again, we medical profession, to what you have done, abusing your bodies. We said, if you want to abuse your bodies, we're going to take every bloody pound you have in your pocket away with you, with the most modern medical treatment, valves, heart-lung machines. That's a machine that I can use when you put you on a heart-lung machine. I stop this machine, I keep this machine going, I take out your heart and your heart, I drop it on the floor, pick it up, wash it in palm oil with soap and put it back again. All these things we can do a good game. Young baby under intensive care. And look what we get. Isn't it amazing? Aren't you going to be sure that that money is available to provide for this? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that the most beautiful photo you've ever seen in your life? No applause, no cheers. You know what that beautiful view is? It's your heart, ladies and gentlemen, with a normal heart muscle. Now, when you abuse your bodies and you get your coronary artery disease, what happens? That heart becomes looking like that. It looks like it's been on the M25 on a Friday night and every car's been over it. Now, that normal heart you saw that normal heart. I want to ask you, it was in the 4-year-old man. Do you think that man is alive or dead? Yes, he's dead. He was killed in a motor car accident. And the heart of that that's been on the M25, is the patient alive or dead? He's alive. 22 years later. And there he stands, Mr. Dirk van Zyl, who was our 8th heart transplant patient. Before he had his heart attacks, he had 5, 6 before his heart became destroyed. He had a heart transplant. He developed diabetes and he had both amputations. But you know, when he comes to us, he never complains about this. It's like Marius Chevalier. When he was 80, they asked him, how do you feel? He said, if I think of the alternative, I feel bloody well. But, and it's very serious, he has one complaint every time he comes and sees us. What's that? Money. This operation and this threat to his health has created a lack of possibility to generate the money needed for him, and his financial independence has been threatened. You from the insurance industry, 25 years after a heart attack, when he should have died in spite of modern medicine, after 22 years after the heart transplant, 8 years after lost both his limbs, I want to give you in secret, guess what he's got? He's got a life insurance policy. Isn't it amazing? And that life insurance policy is to him of no help. He needed something else. Because we in the medical profession, in responding to your new diseases from the abuse of your bodies, has created a situation that you've got to insure yourself to have financial independence, not because you're going to die, but because you're going to live. And that is the way that we develop the concept of dread disease insurance. Dread disease insurance today is the #1 need for financial independence, because we as doctors are going to threaten you with our modern lifestyle, because unlike the pneumonia patient, you're not going to recover and go back to work. Unlike as the heart transplant or the heart attack or the cancer patient, you're going to survive needing higher expense and less money. Give me an example. Any of you, I challenge you, go to your bank manager tomorrow and say to him, I've had a heart attack. I'm not going to pay my loan of £100,000. Do you know what will happen? You'll get a heart attack. That's all that will happen. That's just the tricks we do with the coronary arteries. We do coronary artery bypasses. I can sew like any woman. I can darn your socks, and we stitch the veins on, and we reestablish the arteries. I'm going a bit faster. Now, 300,000 men and women suffer heart attacks each year in your country, but many will survive. Think about the word survive. Before I tell you, what does this mean? Survive. We as doctors say, we're so bloody wonderful, and you know we look very important. We're so wonderful, our patients survive. If he drops dead when he gets outside the hospital, we no longer care about him as long as he survives. Who's going to survive? 77% will survive 5 years, 58% survive 10 years, and 47% survive 13 years, and we are going to improve. We medical men have decided that you're not allowed to die. That I promise you. You will not be allowed to die anymore. We are going to improve our treatments, and you're going to survive. But with daily increasing threat to that financial independence that you so keenly want, that you want for your loved ones, that you want for your children. Isn't that beautiful? Have you seen anything like that? That's the lung. I wish I could talk longer to you. I'd like to tell you about the lung, but time's up. A 34-year-old woman came to see me, 2 children, divorced, a smoker. I had to investigate it, and I diagnosed that she had cancer of the lung. There's the lung out already. She came to see me a year later, total loss of weight, total short of breath, hardly be able to. She's struggling to keep body and soul together. She says to me, I cannot continue. She's dead already. I will never forget her face. Never. Now, what would have happened if her broker came to this convention and heard about dread disease, and 2 years ago sold her a dread disease policy that would have given her £200,000 on the diagnosis of the disease? That little girl had to struggle on because the flat rent had to be paid. She had to struggle on because she had a car, kids had to go to school, until she died. Now, if she had £200,000, what would have given her? She could have stopped working. She could have spent quality time with children. If it happens to me, I will say, I'll take that £200,000 and go to Hollywood and spend the night with Madonna. That would have been my choice. It would have been Madonna's choice too, by the way. 30% of all people in your country, your Asian country, suffer from a condition called cancer, and 90% will be life-threatening. How long do they survive? You look at my age, I'm a male, 35, 47%. 40% will survive at least 5 years. If you look at the chairman here this afternoon, 64, 29% will survive. But on the whole, if the diagnosis of cancer is made today, more than 50% will survive more than 5 years. Have you ever seen a person with cancer of the lung? Cancer of the stomach? Have you seen what that survival means? It's a slowly progression to unableness to fulfill the daily needs, especially to start with the threat to the person's opportunity to create an income. Only critical illness will pay out on the diagnosis and make it possible. Do I sound enthusiastic? Thank you. 100,000 men and women suffer strokes. 78% will survive for at least one. Have you ever seen a person with a stroke? Have you ever seen a person with a stroke? It's not only the patient who lies there paralyzed and unable to talk and unable to move. It involves his whole family. His whole family is locked into caring. Working wives have to give up work to come and help them. There's the clue. There's the clue for the need of dread disease insurance. Not because you're going to die, but because you're going to live. And that is the reason why I'm prepared to cross this world. I don't ask you to sell dread disease insurance, ladies and gentlemen. I don't ask you to sell a certain companies. I'd like you to, but I don't ask you. What I ask you, and I insist, that for a great tomorrow for my patients, you tell them about it. Just tell them about this product, what it can do, and I assure you of the results.